guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new or not yet subscribed, I'm Brittany, and definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button. Before we dive in, I just want to remind you guys of my giveaway. All you have to do to enter is like this video, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below what you are going to be for Halloween. Nice, quick, easy. Go ahead and do it, and we're going to dive straight in. Don't get me wrong, I love Disney. I obviously grew up with Disney and know the majority of Disney songs. But today we're going to be talking about ghosts of Disney. Spirits that are said to be at either Disneyland in California or Disney World in Florida. So the first one we have is named Dolly. In 1984, Regina Young, also known as Dolly, fell from her seat while riding the Matterhorn at Disneyland, and she was killed when she was struck by another bobsled. That would be a horrendous way to die. Her seatbelt was unbuckled and nobody really knows why. We don't know if it's a malfunction with the ride or if she unbuckled it herself. The cast members claim that they have felt someone watching them during their routine walkthrough of the ride, and that's conducted at the end of the day. Also, the area where Dolly had died is known as Dolly's Dip. I don't know if it's sweet or really horrible. Next, we have Walt Disney. So obviously, Walt Disney is the creator of everything Disney. Like, there would be no Disney without him. And while the park was being constructed, which had begun on July 16th, 1954, he wanted a place to stay on the property. So he decided to put an apartment of the firehouse on Main Street. The apartment wasn't very large. It was only about 500 square feet. But, after a long day or, you have an early morning, it worked. In recent years, the apartment has been opened back up. You can go in and actually see it in a tour. And as a tribute to Walt, the light is always left on in the apartment's front window. But according to legend, this was not always the case. It said that one day there was a cast member who was looking after the apartment, and they had tried to turn off the light before they were leaving. But then when she came back, the light was on. She went back and, turned the light off again. And yep, it was back on. And she said that the last time she had went upstairs to turn off the light, she actually heard a whisper saying, "I'm still here." So people believe that that's Walt. It was the apartment that only he stayed in. So our next one. Disneyland has this legend that people will sneak in ashes of their loved ones to spread in the haunted mansion. Now, this isn't actually allowed, but people get away with things that aren't allowed all the time. So it isn't crazy to think that somebody might have succeeded. In Disneyland, California, at the Haunted Mansion attraction, and said that a little boy's mother spread his ashes. Obviously, she didn't have the park's permission. And ever since then, people have said that they have heard him crying for his mother at the end of the ride, which is so disturbing. Also said to be spotted on the Pirates of the Caribbean, which is right next door to the Haunted Mansion. There's also said to be a boy in the Haunted Mansion in Florida. So someone who posted on the Walt Disney World Magic forums in 2004 wrote this about a photo that they took. It says, "As you see in the photo, it appears as though a child is peeking his head out of the dune buggy and looking directly at me. Not only was he not there when I took the picture, there wasn't a child of this age within 20 people in front of me in line. And as you can see, he's only a few dune buggies in front of me. Not only that, what's he doing looking at me? There's no flash and no visible light coming from me. It's all infrared and invisible to the naked eye." And as you can see in this picture, it is very clearly a little boy. This picture kind of reminds me of the one that Ed and Lorraine got at the Conjuring house of the little boy. So it is quite interesting that this is a very clear photo if it's completely real. Then we have Debbie Stone. In 1974, 18-year-old Deborah Stone was crushed to death while working as a hostess at the America Sings attraction in Disneyland. So America Sings was located in the rotating theater that had previously housed the Carousel of Progress. On July 8th in the evening, Stone was caught between the rotating theater and the stationary stage, and obviously she died because of that. She was literally, I guess, crushed. A safety light was put in because of this, and it would actually warn people if they were getting too close to the dangerous area. The stationary walls did end up getting replaced with breakaway ones as well, which should have been in, like, to begin with. Debbie Stone is said to be looked at as this guardian angel. It said that cast members who were working on the attraction, which was open until 1988, used to hear a voice warning them, be careful if they got too close to the walls. Then we have George. George is said to haunt the Pirate of the Caribbean ride. When it was under construction, a welder named George was killed in an accident. Now, this kind of varies a little bit, but some say that he was crushed by a falling beam, and others say that he fell from the burning city part of that ride and died. So ever since then, really weird things will happen if George feels disrespected. So, like, if somebody says they don't believe in him, the ride will just suddenly stop. It kind of seems like all he is looking for is acknowledgement and respect. So cast members who close will say, "Good night, George," and cast members who open the ride will say good morning to him. However, there were also real skeletons on this ride when it first opened. They thought that the fake skeletons looked too fake, so they actually got real skeletons. Now, that's no longer the case, but maybe there were some visitors from that. Then we have Mr. One Way. He haunts Space Mountain at Disneyland in California. Some accounts describe him as a red-haired man with a red face. Others say he's a kid dressed in 70s clothes. Stories say that he likes to hang out in the queue for Space Mountain. So if it's the red-haired guy, he won't talk or interact. But if he's the kid, he does. However, Mr. One Way doesn't wait in the queue at all. He actually appears in the cars of the ride. He will actually approach from the opposite side of the waiting area, which is the side where people will exit the ride. And he will sit down in one of the empty seats. It said that he always disappears right before you hit the final tunnel at the end of the ride. There's also said to be a second ghost known as Disco Debbie that frequents this ride, and she glows in the dark. Then we have the monorail ghost. In 1966, a 19-year-old named Thomas Guy Cleveland had tried to sneak into Disneyland in Anaheim, and he actually scaled to the park's outer fence and he climbed along the monorail track. He was struck by the oncoming tram. Nowadays, it's said that you can see a spirit that is sometimes prowling along the monorail track, and it's said that he only appears at night and then he vanishes when the tram comes. Next, we have some footage. So this is CCTV footage, and it looks like something is walking around Disneyland. There's obviously multiple cameras here, and multiple cameras caught this being kind of jumping in and out of frame. It does look a lot like a person in some of those frames. Like, some of them is kind of just like a light, but others you can, it looks like somebody walking. Some believe that this is Walt. Others say that it might be his brother, Roy Disney. And others are like, nope, that's just a trick of a light. But it does genuinely look like there is a being walking on this footage. And last we have the Tower of Terror ghost. Now this one's a little hard to see at first, but it starts off that there is something in the back behind the man and then something off to the side. And then when the footage slows down a little bit, it becomes a lot clearer. And the second one, the one off to the side, definitely looks like something. To me, it doesn't look like the same entity. And I don't know if I fully believe that the second one, or the first one, the one behind them, is an entity. But the second one to me really looks like something. But again, you know, it could just be a trick of a light. I want to know what you guys think. So let me know what you guys think of the footage. Let me know if you guys have had any encounters with any entity at Disneyland or Disney World. Like this video, hit the subscribe button for me, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I love you. Bye.